Thank you very much. Artificial intelligence is changing many things. The way we interact, the way we live, and of course, the way we work. And many people is scared. The society is very scared. And that's why I'm very happy to be here in this panel in which we will talk about the impact of artificial intelligence on our lives at the workplace, and of course, on our industry. A panel that will, I hope, bring many ideas, will help us understand many things, and will also bring us a lot of optimism. So let me introduce the members of the panel. 4 humans, 1 chatbot. And as the slogan of this year is Uncut, now is personal, I would like, and I will ask them to share some personal information with us regarding their experience, their jobs, their lives, and artificial intelligence. So please, Aroa Fernández, data artificial intelligence specialist at Microsoft. One more time, Thank you, Aroa.
Thank you.
I'm willing you to share something very special about artificial intelligence with us.
Well, I love artificial intelligence for sure. This is the reason why I am here. And talking about something personal, well, it's true that I love traveling. No, this is the reason why I am an expert of artificial intelligence applied to travel and tourism industry. And also there is another thing which I love, which is rock music. I love music. So Pedro, if next year you need help to choose the music for the event, count me in, okay? I am willing to help. So this example is real. In Easter, I was visiting New York. And usually, I don't feel comfortable. I don't like, the typical tourism tours which every person do the same. I prefer something more personalized, something more original, something different. So in my trip to New York, I decided to visit different places. And I decided to visit rock important venues in New York. There weren't agencies prepared for such trip. So I asked OpenAI, I asked Azure OpenAI to design me a trip for visiting music spot venues in New York. So instead of visiting the Statue of Liberty, I found my own trip, and I visit places such as, Electric Ladyland, which is the musical studio of Jimi Hendrix, or places like, the CBGB, the place where punk music starts. And all these tips. So it's amazing for me how artificial intelligence can personalize everything, but most important in this event, trips. We can design our own trips in the way we want. I mean, it's amazing how artificial intelligence can help.
Thank you very much, Aroa. Next guest in our table, Daniel Hansens, Senior Director of Product Marketing at Slack. One more time, Hi, Daniel. Please share something exciting about artificial intelligence with us, personal.
Something exciting that's personal. So I'm actually also going to go with a travel story. It seems very appropriate. So I had the wonderful opportunity to go to Thailand a little bit earlier this year with my partner, and I thought, I don't want to research all of the things that I could do, and I went on OpenAI's website and asked for an itinerary for a small island in Thailand called Koh Tao. And we arrived very late in the evening, a little bit jet-lagged, and the first thing on the itinerary was to go and look at a beautiful sunset. So we got up at 5 in the morning. We followed a recommendation that was given to me by ChatGPT, and we, with a little torch, climbed up this hill, and we waited for the sun to come up, which it did behind us, on the other side of the mountain. So I learned a lesson there when it comes to AI, which is it's a great help, but don't just wholly rely on it, because sometimes it gets things wrong. So that's a recent experience with AI on a personal level.
Thank you. Interesting lesson. And now, Iñaki Fuentes, it's your turn, CEO of Quonversa. These were very interesting. We have very interesting experiences here, so I'm willing to hear yours.
Yes, some time ago, some years ago, you remember when Shakira was still in love with Piqué? You remember that? We had the idea and we have the vision that conversational artificial intelligence will eat the world. So we decided to start a project, to start something great using that technology. It was hard at the beginning. It was really hard. But last year, we finally could create something. We create a product. But on that moment, ChatGPT exploded. And I said, oh, I'm fucked. So I went to my psychologist, and she told me, Iñaki, don't worry. ChatGPT is your friend. It's not enemy. It's not your enemy. So we start thinking how we can use that technology to include in our services and our product. And now, being part of Travelgate, we are using this technology, our knowledge, and the powerful data that Travelgate has to start doing really great, really powerful projects together.
Thank you very much, Iñaki. Now it's the turn of our fourth human, because after she, it will be the turn of our chatbot. So please, let's welcome Shiyi Pickrell, the Senior Vice President of Expedia, Group Data and Artificial Intelligence.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Shiyi Pickrell. I traveled from Seattle to here, first time to Spain, so this is a lovely place. I have been working in machine learning AI for quite a long time, so see a lot of waves. ChatGPT is really personal to me because I grew up in China and then has been traveling around the world for schools, for work. So quite recently, Expedia integrated the ChatGPT in our app. So when I came here, I asked it, like, where should I go? Recommend restaurants, recommend half-day activities. So I find it's quite helpful. Even I can get some culture norms, such as, like, do you tip in Spain? Or, like, what's the norm of people meet? Do you show up early? Do you show up on time? Or do you show up late? It gives me great tips.
Thank you very much. So now is the turn of our chatbot. And let's put the first question on the table. It will be Miss ChatBot-X. ChatBot-X. First question. We have to wait so it gets ready. And let's see what happens with my accent. Who are you? What are you? Who you are? Who you are, what you are.
Sure, happy to introduce myself. Hi everyone, I'm ChatBot-X. I'm pleased to be here today at this amazing event in Mallorca, and to talk with you about artificial intelligence and its opportunities for the travel industry. I'm a conversational assistant with the ability to perform many tasks. For example, I can understand and answer questions, summarize information, create content, and more. In short, I help people, travelers or employees. I can talk to them and understand what they want and need. For instance, I have the potential to give travelers good suggestions and build their itineraries, and help them book their trips easily. I can also help them anytime they need me, all this according to consumers' travel behavior. I am based on Azure OpenAI and other Azure cognitive services to improve my job performance. I think chatbots like me can make traveling a better experience for individuals. I'm excited to tell you more about how I do that in this talk. Thank you so much for listening and looking forward to interacting with you during the session.
Amazing, don't you think so? So now I would like to know how is artificial intelligence affecting your day-to-day activity. Could you share 3 things you are doing in a different way? Aroa.
Yes. Well, in this case, I would like to differentiate between professional and personal life because, well, you know, I work for Microsoft, so I work for a tech company, and artificial intelligence is involved in my day-to-day. So I try to get the most out of artificial intelligence by being more productive, more efficient, and getting rid of, you know, these repetitive tasks, such as, for example, you know, when you have to create a deck or something and you have to look for an image, copyright is a bit, you know, sometimes we can use this kind of images, so I use DALL-E for creating that images and save time. And also another thing, well, to be honest, I am not a creative person, you know. I am a technical, I am a mathematician, I am analytical, I am technical, but not creative. So, to be honest, this is a bit embarrassing. Sometimes I use GPT models to, you know, start to create. I mean, for example, when I don't know what I am going to say, or what, you know, if I have to prepare some pitch or something, and I don't know how to start, I waste a lot of time thinking in my first idea. And you know, when this idea came up, we start, everything goes on fine. So what I use GPT models for is for this, you know, first idea, and not start my work from scratch, you know. So after this first idea or this text generated, I start to customize, to rewrite things, and I save up a lot of time thinking in how to start. And this is in my professional life. In my personal life, there is another thing which is a bit embarrassing, that is that I am not very good at driving. It's embarrassing because it's something that all the people can do, but I don't know why driving, I am not good at driving. So all these, you know, these features that we have now in our cars that are part of the autonomous driving journey are amazing to me, you know, such as, you know, for example, autonomous lights, or when you take like a little bit the wrong way and you go through the line and automatically the wheel, you know, turn out and take the correct path. That's artificial intelligence. So I am driving better because I am driving less. So it's amazing for me. And the last one is, you know, in chatbots like this one. It's true that there is a lot of space, a lot of room for improvement, because until now they have some gaps. And, but now with the introduction of generative AI, there is a lot of amazing things we can do. So you will see with, you know, ChatBot-X, sorry.
Thank you. Daniel, 3 things you are doing in a different way?
All right. Sure. I think everyone, when you sort of think of your working life, you can think of things that you have to do because you have to, not because you love doing them. And I certainly try to use AI to do away as much as possible with the things I just don't enjoy doing, which typically is like administrative type things. So an example of that is that typically most of the meetings, especially the long ones, I will record them, and then I use ChatGPT in that instance to summarize all the meetings that I'm in and summarize all the action points from those meetings, so that I kind of always have this very actionable list of things that I need to do based on the meetings that I have. Like you, I actually use it as well for getting things started from a writing perspective. There's a lot of content that needs to be created, and actually just you know, starting at a blank sheet of paper is great because you can make it as you want, but learning on how to use generative AI and doing sort of a little bit of the prompt engineering to get that initial writing on the paper and use that as a jumping off point rather than just, you know, an idea has massively sped up how long it takes to just do things that I would normally, you know, take quite a bit of time on. And then lastly, you know, calendar management. I mean, I'm a remote worker, and you know, I'm sure that everyone has had a lot of experience with remote working or hybrid working, whether that's now or in the past. And there's a lot of meetings there. There's a lot of people to keep you in touch with. And having actually a virtual assistant that helps me manage the calendar and move things around so that I just have to have a little bit of an oversight on that is just a massive time saver for me.
Thank you, Daniel. Iñaki?
Well, everyone uses it, but we really don't know because, for example, in every daily use, when you're driving into a tunnel and the lights gets on, talking yesterday with Aroa, that's artificial intelligence. So we are around all about this technology. For example, for me, I use it to organize myself, to organize my notes, taking decisions. I put a list of tasks, what I have to do during the day, and I ask GPT, what should I do first? What should I do last? What I should don't do? And then people like me, a bit not really organized, it's really helpful because it's make me focus on things. And also I use it to organize my inbox. I use a kind of plugin for inbox, for Gmail, and then move some emails on drafts, and we together decide what I'm going to replay now or not. But since I start working with lawyers, with security things, with many lawyers, I use ChatGPT to write legal stuff and legal emails. And that's something really, really useful. I tell you to use it to write legal stuff because it's amazing. It's crazy. Some years ago, I can imagine writing that kind of emails with legal tone, and for me, it's crazy. But in the personal area, I have 2 kids, and I was the kind of parent that say my kids will never going to use iPhone or telephones or tablets until they are 10. But not. I'm doing it. But the good thing is that my kids tell me, hey, Dad, tell us a story. And I tell him, OK, what do you want to be today? And they say, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be whatever. So we ask ChatGPT to create that history together. And they are fascinating and crazy about how the story starts growing and start creating. And they tell me, Dad, more, we want more. So we ask ChatGPT, and the story continues, and it's crazy how the ChatGPT can create that history all together. You remember that there were kind of books to choose your own adventure. So it's the same, and using technology in real time, and it's quite amazing. And I really enjoy that thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as a technology builder in the travel industry, yes, generative AI, ChatGPTs are helping me and my team are being more productive, but I also often put myself in the shoes of the travel partners, like the travel agencies, to think, how can this technology change their life, make their day-to-day work more productive? For example, if I put myself in the shoes of a small travel agent, maybe I will have to maintain the relationship with my lifetime customers and do a lot of check-in between their trips or during their trips, but I have very limited bandwidth. How can we continue add capability into our tools, technology, so make their lives easier, make them can grow more engagement and take on more customers? Personal-wise, not to repeat everything you guys said, because I'm a trained neuroscientist, so I did my PhD in neuroscience chemistry. I like to think of how would a generative AI in the future change my life and my kids' life. Some of you probably read there are companies, startups, kind of replicating people's memories now. They're exploring that space. I remember 20 years ago when I did my PhD, we think replicating memory, you have to connect the brain to a machine, or it's done by chemistry, or burn the memory into a CD, or if you ask my kids, they will say, oh, do it something like Harry Potter, touch the brain with a magic wand. But I think it's coming, it's very real. You know, I question, my parents are elderly, so shall I do something for them so when my kids grow up, they can talk to a digital content and get the personality, language, or something from my parents.
Thank you. I think it's coming. And now it's the turn for our empty chair that is not empty. It's occupied by Miss ChatBot-X. So next question for Miss ChatBot-X. Looking at individuals and societies, how large language models and generative artificial intelligence can impact our day-to-day life? Okay, let's try again, maybe.
Sure, artificial intelligence, AI, has the potential to impact our day-to-day life in numerous ways. One of the most significant impacts of AI is in the field of healthcare, where it can assist doctors and healthcare professionals in diagnosing and treating diseases more accurately and efficiently. For example, AI algorithms can analyze medical images to detect early signs of diseases like cancer and recommend appropriate treatment options. Additionally, AI can improve the accuracy and efficiency of transportation systems, such as self-driving cars that can reduce the number of accidents and traffic congestion, resulting in safer and faster transportation. In the field of education, AI can assist teachers in creating personalized learning experiences for students by analyzing student data and providing personalized recommendations for learning materials and activities that cater to individual needs and preferences. Finally, AI can also positively impact our daily lives by improving the efficiency of various industries, such as manufacturing and logistics, by optimizing production processes, reducing waste, and improving supply chain management, resulting in more affordable and accessible goods and services for consumers.
So many things that I would like to know how you are making the most out of artificial intelligence, and what are you doing and what have you learned?
Well, I try to get the most out of artificial intelligence every day at job for being more productive and more efficient. For example, I work as well as a professor, as a teacher, and you know that the most time-consuming task for a professor is creating the content you are going to use in your classes. So once again, I use Azure OpenAI, DALL-E in Azure OpenAI to create images, to create text, but also there are other tools such as Copilot or Codex which help me a lot to create better content, better scripts, better notebooks for my students with the comments, and they are able to understand better the lessons. And I don't need to spend so much time creating that content. And in fact, this is enriched content. So my students are elated now because it's much more easier for them to understand everything. And also when I create the documentation about all this code and all these things, I use these generative AI tools. So for me, it's really, really nice. And also, well, in our day-to-day lives, artificial intelligence is over there. So we can save time in that way. For example, when we talk with our phone and tell, call mommy, please, instead of writing the number or something, that's AI. Because natural language processing is converting in an instruction, in an order, so that's AI. Or for example, when we are driving, that's AI as well, or face recognition. For people like me, I am unable to remember any password. So when I try to turn on my computer and I always forgot the password, face recognition is also AI, it's computer vision. So AI is there. So I try to use all these tools to cover these gaps, like, not very good at driving, remembering passwords. And I think that artificial intelligence is here to help us in that way and make us more productive, more efficient, more happier, and have more time for, other things.
Thank you. Daniel, in your opinion, what are you doing? What have you learned? What could you share?
I think it's really important to experiment, to just try different things. From Slack's perspective, we launched, the integration with OpenAI a couple of months ago. And in the month of March alone, there was 3,000 custom apps made by our users with that implementation, just specific to their use cases. And when you look at some of those use cases, it's crazy how people are just taking that to completely transform their very specific roles. Things that you could, as a company, not say we're going to productize this because it's so specific it might only be applicable to a handful of people. But having that power in your hands is just so impressive. And some of the ways that I use it is from a product marketing perspective, you want to make sure that your proposition, your product direction going forward is aligned with what customers are looking for, what they want. And that's really tricky because there's obviously a lot of data involved in that, but there's also a lot of soft elements involved in that because the data is not going to give you the picture of what people actually want or need, sort of thing. And bringing the data piece together with all of the feedback and all of the conversations that we're having with customers, and having artificial intelligence surface ultimately the things that we need to be looking at and looking for, and then validating that, it's just a game changer for us because it speeds up that innovation cycle so much compared to what it would have been otherwise.
Thank you. A game changer.
Yes.
I think so. Iñaki, how are you making the most out of it?
Well, at the end, it's all about productivity. It's about taking decisions quicker, and it's all about the speed. But also, what I have learned, well, we already know, you can trust anyone, and even now, you can trust a machine. So you have to ask them things, ask the machine questions, but you really need to think about what is true and what is not true, and how you have to take that decision based on what in this case ChatGPT is saying to you. But from the point of view of Travelgate, we are exploring really interesting projects in terms of data, in terms of taking real-time decisions based on the Travelgate data, but also making then real-time decisions on a conversational way. I mean, asking natural questions and getting natural responses, and with that, taking that real-time decision. So these are kind of the projects and the products that we really want to explore and provide all of our clients and customers in Travelgate. So it's a really nice adventure, because we have been always working with data, with dashboards, with all of kind of things, but people at the end, all the people that is with the mobile now, probably they are talking in WhatsApp, in something, in any channel they have. So we want to provide all this information, all these decisions in where the people is. So it's really interesting projects.
Really nice adventure.
Yes.
I like that. Shiyi, what are you doing in Expedia?
Yeah, so generative AI is very good at translations, content generations, but it also has a lot of potential helping data. I think Daniel touched on that as well. In our world, the data is exploding, and that's good and also causing a lot of frictions. For example, finding the right data, understanding them. A lot of companies spend army of BI intelligence just to crunch the data and put together PowerPoint to translate the trend to the executive. I think all those works could potentially be simplified and then done through generative AI or ChatGPT in those space. Yeah.
Thank you. So let's go to Miss ChatBot-X. ChatBot-X. Let's go. In your opinion, how business leaders in the travel and hospitality industry should embrace generative artificial intelligence and large language models?
Business leaders in the travel and hospitality industry should embrace generative artificial intelligence and large language models as powerful tools for improving their operations and customer experience. By leveraging these technologies, travel companies can analyze vast amounts of data to provide personalized recommendations, dynamic pricing, and real-time assistance to travelers. They can also use generative AI to create compelling content and detect fraudulent activities in the industry. However, it is important for business leaders to ensure that these technologies are used ethically and transparently, and that they do not compromise the privacy and security of their customers' data. Ultimately, the successful adoption of generative AI and large language models in the travel industry will require a careful balance between innovation and responsibility.
To the Q&A.
Q&A.
Yeah, please.
Perfect.
Because we're a bit behind. Thank you,
No
guys.
problem.
Thank you.
Q&A. Any question coming from the audience for our humans, our chatbot? Okay. What skills are necessary for employees to adapt an artificial intelligence-driven work environment? Who wants to answer?
Yes, for example.
Well, I think it's just about curiosity. Everything comes from this. If you like the changes, you have that curiosity of things. Because, for example, people is scared about what is coming. But what I tell to them is that not about the scare, it's about an opportunity. We are in a moment that we have to embrace this technology, start learning how to play with them, how we make the best from them, and start thinking that the future is going to be like that. We will have a real assistant next to us, and it's going to be our copilot in every task and everything that we are going to do. So first of everything is just curiosity, and start wanting from itself, working with it, playing with the technology, and learning how to make things with them. That's the point.
Aroa, Daniel?
Yes, I agree.
Shiyi?
I agree with you. And I think the most important thing in here is to have a growing mindset. Try to learn as much as you can and get the most out of everything. So in this case, it's different if you want to, when we talk about AI roles and AI skills, well, it's true that if you want to have a technical role, you should have, skills such as programming, maths, and all that. But now there is an increase of creating new low-code, no-code technologies and tools. And what does it mean? That you don't need technical knowledge to get the most out of AI. You just need to understand the tool. I mean, for example, the example I put before, or if you want to scan some document, there are computer vision over there. You don't need to understand what there are there. And in an industry like this, like tourism industry, with most employees are not technical employees, you just need this low-code and no-code tools. So really what you need is to use these tools which are going to or will be improved in the time. So you just need a growing mindset and curiosity to learn these new tools, not technical skills. It's what we call democratization of artificial intelligence.
Thank you, Aroa. Daniel, Shiyi, would you like to share something?
I will add something. I think generative AI is really democratizing the application of AI to the non-technical people. Because years ago, when you build a model, you have to write the programs. You have to know Python, C++. But now you just need to prompt it. So prompt engineer is said to be a really popular careers or roles. And then also knowing your business, the domain knowledge of your travel industry or your clients and the networking is becoming more and more critical as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd certainly echo the prompt engineering side of things, particularly around generative AI. Knowing how to ask it a question to get the best answer is absolutely critical. And it's like communication, right? I can ask you a question with a yes or no answer, or I can ask you a nice open-ended question to get a lot more sort of rich material out of it. And it's exactly the same, but you need to learn it because it is a specific skill.
Thank you. Any more questions coming from the audience? I think we have another one. This is the same one. Which are the 3 main elements to mitigate the ethical concerns generated by artificial intelligence? 3 main elements. Who wants to answer?
Yeah, I can start this one. So, you know, AI, generative AI, it's exciting, but also a little bit scary. Earlier, I mentioned about you can replicate, potentially in the future, people's memories and even voice or accent, their personality. That's cool, but it also means I could get a phone call and someone mimic my son's voice and say, hey, I'm in trouble, wire money to me, right? So there's deep fake. I think as we are working in this field, we have to be very mindful of AI ethics and data securities and privacies. And the right way is not to lock it in a box to say, hey, this is dangerous, let's not touch it. But it's to do more in the intelligent assistant space and then more complex so we can build that muscle and do it the right way.
Well, my only concern is about who is going to take the global lead of this everything. Because now, yesterday, I thought it was Russia launching its own ChatGPT. So in terms of globalization, someone is going to take the lead. And for the rest of us, it's like we will need to follow it. Because at the end, someone is taking all the priority of these things. So who is going to be? Europe is going to create its own model. USA is going to create its own model of everything. Who is going to take the global leads? I'm a bit scared about how this is going to be developing in terms of globalization. I know who is going to take that lead and how the rest of us, how we are going to follow it. So.
Yeah, I'm sort of reminded of what Gert said about the hammer, right? I mean, you can use it to hurt someone or you can use it to build something, and this is very much the same. And there is a degree of personal responsibility attached to that. I like what Expedia did with the integration there. It didn't say, speak to one of our advisors. You didn't pretend to be a person. You make it very clear it's ChatGPT. And I think just being transparent on that, making people aware that they're interacting or engaging with something that is ultimately artificial, I think that's the way forward, because then also people can learn on how to engage with these things and avoid, interpreting biases as reality.
Yes, I agree. I think that there is a part of own responsibility. And also, I think that here the challenge is if, legislation could be or could move on at the same speed that technology change. Here, I think is but it's, as Iñaki told, is something that is, above us. So taking the leadership is also really the most important thing in here.
Thank you. Well, I would like to ask Miss ChatBot-X what she thinks about this. What are the 3 main elements to mitigate the ethical concerns generated by artificial intelligence?
The 3 main elements to mitigate the ethical concerns generated by artificial intelligence are transparency, accountability, and fairness. Transparency refers to making the decision-making process of AI systems understandable and accessible to humans. Accountability involves holding individuals and organizations responsible for the actions and decisions made by AI systems. Fairness refers to ensuring that AI systems do not perpetuate biases and discrimination against certain groups of people.
So thank you very much. I have to say it was a challenge. I appreciate very much your information, your experiences, your ideas, your optimism, and also I appreciate the ideas coming from Miss ChatBot-X. So thank you very much. See you soon, and I hope you will enjoy the next of the day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks.